Today we'll be discussing the Phyto-Teint Ultra Eclat Foundation from SISLEY. I think I just found another soft matte banger, y'all. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, I'm the SISLEY. I'm an OG YouTuber that reviews luxury beauty all the time. And as I always say, since you're already here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Definitely feel free to hit that like button, and most importantly, turn on those notification bells just so that you're aware of all the content that I have coming out. For starters, I did apply the Tatcha Dewy mist before I actually went on camera just because I wanted to give my skin a bit of a luminosity and a bit of a glow just to really moisten up my skin. And for starters, I am going to use one of my favorite primers these days, which is the Veil Mineral Primer from Hourglass. Alright, now that I have that applied and my skin is nice and ashy, especially with that sunscreen in there, I will now go in with the foundation. So today I'll be applying the Phyto-Teint Ultra Eclat from SISLEY. And before I proceed, I must say that this purchase was actually inspired by a YouTuber. Her name is Mo Makeup Mo Beauty. I will leave a link down below so you can check out her channel. Definitely feel free to subscribe to her channel. She makes great content. She's a fellow luxury beauty YouTuber and I absolutely love her channel. She recently did a video that had a full face of SISLEY products, and for me, I haven't used SISLEY in a couple of years. It hasn't been that long, but it has been several years that, you know, I've actually used a SISLEY product. And throughout my years working in the beauty world, I was trained by SISLEY on many occasions. So Mo was doing a video of full face of SISLEY, and that inspired me to just go to the store and, you know, just actually check out some SISLEY products. And I stumbled across this foundation, and I knew that the foundation range had been slightly extended. And I actually reached out again to SISLEY directly, asking a SISLEY rep about the shade range and about the coloring, just because this particular shade that I picked up is called 6+. And I asked, what is the plus? And that was something that, you know, I just wanted to know for myself and for you guys as well, just as information. And I got no answer. They said that it means nothing. So that was an absolute waste of time. So I have no idea what the plus means, but I did go ahead and get 6+ because the 6 shade just didn't look right. It looked kind of sketchy. However, in the lighting that I was in, again, 6+ did look warm. I wasn't really sure about it at that time, but I am excited to show you guys this on camera because, of course, this whole past week I have been testing a lot of products for you guys, and this was one of them. So let's go ahead and get into it. And keep in mind, this foundation is damn near $100, and they literally gave me one sample of the Black Rose mask, which I actually had to ask for because she had no intentions of giving me any samples because it's a SISLEY thing. And here is the bottle. They did ultimately start moving on and putting zebra prints on things. I don't know what that's about, but I remember that because when we got trained for that, I'm like, okay, I guess. Ooh, every time I look at this shade. So here is shade 6+ on the back of my hand, and as you can see, yes, on camera and in person, it looks exactly the way you're seeing it. And this shade, honestly, it looks to me, I was kind of assuming that the plus meant that, you know, maybe that means that it's warm, like it has like extra warmth or something. I don't know. And, you know, because the rep obviously had no information, but I was assuming that it was because it had extra warmth, but in person, this looks very neutral to me. It's like neutral to golden, but not really. I'm just gonna take a sponge and blend this out. It's also important to note that SISLEY is a botanical line, and with that being said, their products, for the most part, all have some type of fragrance. You may not like how strong the actual scent is because it's not something that dissipates really quickly. Goes on very easily. That's a plus. I do like the way that it sits on the skin, and I will say that in total I have actually dispensed 4 pumps of product. Yeah, this definitely gives me the same feeling I get when I put on Guerlain's Lingerie de Peau, where, you know, that particular shade that I use is, it looks very light on my skin, and it does get borderline ashy during the application process, but it does calm down. So the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau, I think, you know, it's a great foundation. I really do love that foundation. And this one gives me the same feelings as far as when I first apply it. It's just very light. Now I'm just blending out around my facial hair and around my head. Now I'm just patting the foundation into my face. And I will say, you know, again, the foundation, it looks really nice. This definitely settles down to more of a matte finish. Has nice coverage. And as I said, I did put 4 pumps in the back of my hand, but I do have product left. So I probably needed maybe 3. I think it's starting to actually settle now. Okay, it's starting to settle now, and the shade is not looking as crazy in person And hopefully it is translating on camera as equally. Okay, this isn't bad at all. It's actually starting to oxidize, so my skin is becoming one with the foundation, and it's looking very beautiful. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with concealer. I'm gonna go in with the concealer from Clay to Peau in the shade Cocoa. I mean, it erases everything. I love it. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this all out. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh. I mean, this is like perfect, guys. Oh, I love this concealer. It changes everything. And I have to whisper when I talk about it. Oh my gosh. And before I do a bit more blending, I am going to go in with my bronzer as well. And of course, that's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade 3, also known as Tan. Just gonna hit y'all with a whisper as usual. Yes, ma'am, that's what I'm talking about. Just a touch of Lip Fetish Lip Balm from McGRATH. Rather than a blush, I'm actually going to go in with a highlighter. This is the Face Illuminator, and this is in the shade Addiction from Mercier. And I would show this to you, but it's completely, like, I'll try to show you. It's completely shattered, but I refuse to, part with it. There is a video that's coming where I have another Face Illuminator from them in a different shade. We'll talk about that. Just a whisper of a highlight. Highlights can be whispers too, darling. I'm going to use a little bit of the Dark Star Mascara from McGRATH. And as I've been doing lately, I will, under the eye, I will use the translucent setting powder in the shade Honey from Mercier. Now I'm just taking a big fluffy brush and dusting off all the excess. And to set this, I will be using the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray from Charlotte Tilbury. The cap, that's a funny story actually. Because this weekend, I went out to see, some of my friends that I worked with a few years back, some really close friends, and had an amazing time. Had a lot of alcohol, by the way. I swear I had maybe 3, possibly 4 gin and tonics. And this guy was walking around handing out whiskey. I don't know. I tried it. I'm not really I'm very much a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. I cannot drink a lot of alcohol. I get tipsy after smearing off, and I'm not even kidding. So half a glass of wine and I'm like, woo, it's all bad. So, John was my driver. He came and picked me up. He was my Uber, and he dropped me off and he picked me up. So I was totally fine. And I also had a Long Island iced tea as well. The point is that I actually had, this and some other things on the way there with me, just because I was prepping my face in the car, just because I was going for a really soft, natural look. I only used my Cocoa moisturizing foundation, or moisture foundation rather. And I used this as my setting spray, but I dropped the cap. It actually popped off in the garage when I got home, and because I was so drunk, I was like, if I get on my knees and try to find this, I'm probably gonna go to sleep. So I was like, I'll get it in the morning. And because it actually went under his car as opposed to my car, and so when he was backing out, he totally crushed this thing. And so I've demanded that he buy me a new full-size bottle that includes the cap, because you can't just order the cap. He's completely denied actually crushing it, even though he clearly swept it, while I was asleep, but it's totally fine. So that's why we don't have a cap. Okay guys, so let's talk about it. The Phyto-Teint Ultra Eclat Foundation from SISLEY is a standard 1-ounce bottle. It comes in 15 or more shades, and I say that because sites are very confusing right now as far as what's available and what's not, but I know that there's at least 15, if not 16 or more shades, and it retails for $95. The following is directly from SISLEY's website. Phyto-Teint Ultra Eclat Light Diffusing Oil-Free Foundation. Looks instantly radiant and flawless, with imperfections minimized and a blurred effect on the skin texture. Day after day, a mineral complex acts to enhance the complexion's natural radiance. Buckwheat seed extract acts as an anti-pollution shield. Extracts of mallow and gardenia flower provide hydration and comfort for fresh-feeling skin. The long-lasting, lightweight, and blendable texture offers a very natural velvety finish and a medium buildable coverage. This is indeed an oil-free foundation. It leaves more of a natural, I would say soft, matte finish with some radiance. So it's definitely going to give off, if you like, the new NARS foundation that I have reviewed twice. If you like, the Tom Ford soft matte. If you like the Clay to Peau foundation, which to me, I think is probably the best release of 2020. But that's just me. We'll talk about that in the future. But, if you guys have, tried any of those foundations and you like a soft matte type of finish, you'll definitely, like this particular foundation, because this foundation is truly a soft matte look. I think it is more so leaning towards the matte side of the spectrum, but it's definitely a soft matte, because even though I do, put it on and it does mattify, it still gives a tinge of radiance on my skin, and that's without, you know, actually applying, you know, any highlighters or anything like that. But as you saw in the demo, I did put on, you know, the shade Addiction, the face illuminator from Mercier on my cheeks, but with exception to that, there is no other highlighter on my skin, and my skin still does look overall very lit from within and just very pretty in general. It looks very much like skin. It feels absolutely weightless. I will tell you that when I have tested this prior to this video, it definitely does last for a very long time on the skin. No issues whatsoever. There's no cracking. It passed my stubble test, as I've told you guys in the past, which for me as a man, allegedly, as a man, for me, you know, I have 5 o'clock shadow and my facial hair grows all the way up to here. And so because of that, you know, with foundations, if I can put on a foundation and it doesn't start to beat up on my skin and just look really gross, then it definitely is a go for me with regards to, you know, passing my stubble test. It does everything that I want it to do. The thing about SISLEY is that everything that they have, you know, their entire range from skincare to makeup, everything is going to involve, you know, some type of technology with regards to skincare benefits. So this actually is something that would benefit your skin over time, allegedly, and I will say that because again, I haven't used this long enough to tell you, and consistently, of course, because again, I review foundations all the time. I change my foundations like I change my underwear. So it's great that it does have skincare benefits. I can speak to SISLEY skincare. I have used as high as Supremia. If you're someone who knows SISLEY products, I've used Sislea. I've used their cheapest, you know, or just more affordable, you know, range. I've used All Day All Year, which even though I got that, you know, and actually used it, I still don't get it. That's a whole nother thing. I don't know. I need someone from SISLEY to explain All Day All Year. Even though I have used that, I didn't really see anything from that. But with exception to that, their other products, absolutely amazing. So if that's any indication as to what their products can do, then definitely I would say that, you know, the foundation, if it says that it does something that benefits your skin, it more than likely does that. But again, I can't speak to it because I haven't reviewed it and experienced it for that long to actually make that type of, you know, determination. So I would say that if you are someone who is normal to combination to oily and or oily, I would highly recommend you check this foundation out if you're into and you're actually in the hunt for an ultra luxury type of foundation that gives this type of look on the skin where your skin looks like skin. It's not Cobendo skin, but it looks very much so like skin, and you know, it still gives you a lit from within type of effect that lasts all day, oil free. Even though this foundation, technically I would say that this foundation really could fit any skin type, just because, you know, it's not something that, you know, is like sucking, you know, all of the life out of your face. So it's not one of those types of foundations, and it, you know, feels really good on the skin. And so, you know, I think that any skin type would actually benefit from this foundation and actually enjoy it. I would highly recommend it, like I said, to, you know, more of the oilier boys and girls. But overall, this is a really nice foundation. As far as the shade range is concerned, they did expand the range, and for SISLEY to expand is always a shocker, just because SISLEY really doesn't make shades for people of color. And, you know, even though that they expanded it, it wasn't really a true expansion. It wasn't anything grand or anything like that, because I think they have, you know, this shade, which is also known as Chestnut, because this is 6+. They also have a 6 called Amber, and I think they may have a 7 and a 7+, perhaps. I think they have like one called Mocha or something like that. So it doesn't really go that far, but they have made some type of change, and I'm hoping that they will expand this even further, because again, this is actually a really beautiful foundation and I'm really liking it. Like all the foundations I've been reviewing recently, they've just all just been knockouts. Like they've all just done, you know, what I want them to do, and they're not necessarily like, you know, sucky foundations or disappointing foundations. So, you know, I've been kind of just, you know, hitting the ball out of the field, or whatever the phrase is. I don't watch football. Okay. Baseball. I don't watch sports, so anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Home run, whatever, touchdown. Point is that a lot of the foundations I've been reviewing have been absolutely awesome, and I'm adding this one to my list as well for yet another banger. So definitely let me know if you have tried this particular foundation. Again, shout out to Mo Makeup Mo Beauty for just inspiring me to go out and look at some SISLEY products, because I was not giving them the time or day at all, just because they're not really on my mind personally. And the concealer, I looked at the concealer, I almost laughed laughed in that woman's face. I'm like, seriously? Like, it was literally casket sharp, really. So, you know, foundation I can actually put on, and I absolutely do enjoy this. I think this is, again, is a really great option for people of color out there who can fit within the ranges that they have allotted to us, which again is sad, but there's progress. Definitely feel free to rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with a whole lot more. Bye, guys. You know what? I looked at myself through my monitor again. This foundation looks really good. I really hope this looks good on camera, like when you see this. It's really pretty.